So I'm going to talk about the Kushans in Xinjiang, because this is something that has appeared in print several times. Did the Kushan Empire extend to Xinjiang or not? We definitely find Kushan coins in Xinjiang, and there are various reports of them. There's a relationship between them and local coins, and we also now have quite extensive evidence of the recycling of Kushan coins in the area by overstriking, and the local coins and the coins found show some sort of evidence of the Kushan intervention in the area, and this is supported by contemporary accounts in the Hohanshu, and local administrative practice also has something to tell us about this question. And finally, did they rule there, or were they just the coin? It was just the coins moving there, or what? What happened? We don't know. And so looking at all the evidence, I'm going to give you some sort of idea of what we can say. And so the first time Kushan was reported was by a French scholar. They found a coin of Kanishka. They thought it was a coin of Huvishka, and it was found at Khotan. And so this is the first clue that Kushan coins had moved into the area. And then Orlstein and Rudolf Hernley, first of all, Rudolf Hernley, sitting in Calcutta, contacted all the British agents in Central Asia saying, send me the coins that are appearing in the local markets. And among the coins that came were Vimikadphises coins and Kanishka coins. So Kushan coins, and quite in significant number, sort of like 12 or so pieces. And then when Stein was in Xinjiang, he also collected Kushan coins, and in some cases, people showed him a bunch of local coins that included Kushan coins among them. And these discoveries continue. We have, going through the literature, found references to a Vimikadphises coin being found to the east of Khotan in what was the kingdom of Lulan, or Shanshan, which it's called, and the Vasudeva coin found at Aksu. The descriptions are, I've not seen the pictures of these coins, but the descriptions sort of suggest, sort of based on what they say about them and the weights of the coin reported. There was also a report of a hoard of Kushan coins found further east, but it turned out to be bull and horseman coins from Afghanistan, so from the sort of 12th, 13th century. So not Kushan coins, even though in the report says it was. There's also Michael Michener, one of Britain's greatest scholars on Oriental coins. He's a medical doctor, and he gets around. He likes traveling around the world, and he spent time in Kashgar and was sold lots of Kushan coins. And so he said, okay, I found all these Kushan coins here. This must have been part of the Kushan Empire. But what he was forgetting was that the people he was buying them from were either Pakistani or Afghan dealers who brought them in recent times to the area. And there are discussions of the part played by such traders in the markets of Kashgar. So before the most recent things that come in, we've now got this sort of overview of the number of coins that Kushan coins that have been reported from Xinjiang, and so it's about 40-ish, and I'm sure there are many more, but this is what's been reported in publications. And one of the reports made by Professor Dai of my university was that when this big hoard was found in Kashgar, one of the coins in it had a Kushan coin stuck to it, and it was a coin of Kanishka. So it's sort of showing the local horse coins circulating alongside Kushan coins, although the Kushan coins are in much lower numbers. And the number of coins that I've actually seen pictures of, so the ones coming from Jyoti didn't illustrate everything, meant that I've now seen in the flesh or in pictures 664 horse coins of the types found in Xinjiang. As I say, Jyoti had more than he illustrated, and now he's got even more. And one of the things that is clear that the local coins are struck on the same standard as Kushan coins. So the Attic standard, the reduced Attic standard. So the large coins from Xinjiang weigh 15, 16 grams. The Chinese says they're 1 liang, and that's about the same weight. And the quarters are 6 Ju, and that ratio 4 to 1 is what Kushan coins use, and the weights of about 16 grams and about 4 grams. So those are the tetragram and the dram of the Attic standard. So you can see there's a lot of coins, but one of the things that is clear is that for these later kings, so from number 9 onwards, there are more Kushan coins than there are coins of these local kings have been reported so far. This is Mr. Jyoti's book. It's a copy in Coins and Metals Department, he's a coin collector. He specialises in the horse coins, and he's got a picture on the front of a silver coin of the late Qing period. That's the other thing he collects. He's got a lot of them. So. He wrote this book. He has no knowledge of the Koroshti that's written on them, and so he made up translations of the Koroshti on the basis of his imagination. It's a remarkable feat for a collector to publish so much material. And make it readily available. And he sent me pictures of coins. I'd say, can you send me a picture of the second coin on page such and such? And he happily does it. Now these local coins are inscribed on one side in Chinese, and on the other side in a script called Koroshti, which is used for writing the Gandhari dialect of the Indian languages, which is it's called Gandhari because it's the language of Gandhara in northern Pakistan. And when those are my drawings of the inscriptions. The one with the star is the coin up above, and it took quite a long time to reconstruct the inscriptions because, as you see, large part of the inscription on this piece is going off the edge of the coin, so you need quite a lot of coins to make up the whole inscription. But when you look at the koroshki used, you can see exact parallels to the letter forms as on Kushan coins. And so there's a ja with the fourth letter in is a ja. Sometimes it's got a foot on the bottom. There's one which is just like a V. Well, that is highly exceptional. In most koroshki manuscripts and inscriptions on stone, it's never in the shape of a V, but there is a Kushan period coin with exactly that form. So the script on these coins is very similar to the script on early Kushan coins. And on these coins, local coins, most of them have a picture of a horse on them. They're referred to as Japanese horse coins. And the horses are of various kinds. There's standing horses, walking horses, and horses with one leg raised slightly and exaggeratedly. And one can find exact parallels to them on the coins of the Kushan period. Particularly the standing horse with its partially raised leg is exactly mirroring a coin of the first Kushan king, and with the more exaggerated raise, it's almost an exact copy of the horse on coin, also of the first king, but without his name on it. And there are also, more rarely, there's some coins with camels on, and the camel is shown in a very similar way to as it appears on again on early Kushan coins. And an example of those early Kushan coins has actually been found in Khotan by Stein. And as I said, there's recycling. What the recycling is takes the form of early Kushan period anonymous coins, which copy Greek coins, and the overstrikes of them. I spotted examples among the Stein material, and Jyoti has got lots of them, and you can see. I've tried to sort of show the visual connection between what's going on underneath the design that's on top. So you can see bits of Greek inscription around the edges of the horse, and you can see, on the third piece at the bottom, you can see the sitting figure from the undertype overlaid by a horse. One can be 100% certain that these coins are what's been recycled. And among Mr. Jyoti's coins, there was one overstrike, with the large coin in the middle. It's overstruck on a coin in the name of the first Kushan king, and it's on the same weight standard as the other anonymous Kushan period coins. And what is interesting is that those two coins types have been found at Begram in Afghanistan, and the coin, the anonymous coin, is really only found in Begram. We haven't found examples. So there are related coins found at Taxila, but not that particular variety. Pieces from the same mint been found at Taxila and at Begram, but at Taxila they always have there are different denominations, slightly different design. Ones that are overstruck are only found at Begram. And among Mr. Jyoti's coins, I found two other pieces which are overstruck not on the normal anonymous coin of that period, but on a different variety, which is an unofficial one. And we have in the British Museum I think, 4 examples from Begram. And Professor Dye sent me a picture of one that had been found in Khotan that hadn't been overstruck. And all of these coins are coming from one specific site in Afghanistan. And it's not just on the other side of the mountains from Khotan, but in central Afghanistan. So to get from there to Khotan, you either have to go into Pakistan and then over the mountains, or you can go up. There's a valley that goes up to the northern part of Pakistan and then joins up with the Wakhan corridor, which means from there you can go into China. So it looks like these coins are being moved in quite large numbers from Begram to Khotan, and it's quite remarkable. And the latest coin that I found with an overstrike is a coin of one of the camel types, and this piece is in one of the museums in Xinjiang and was linked to an exhibition in Shanghai. It's one of the few camel coins in public ownership in China. And when I was looking at it, I was trying to work out the Koroshti inscription. I thought that bit at the bottom doesn't look right, and then I realised it was a bit of the Greek of the undertype. And so here we have 3 different coin types overstruck in Xinjiang and coming, let's say, from Begram all the way across into Khotan. And alongside them, you can see where the prototypes for the horses and camels are coming from. The camel from Kashmir and the horses from Bactria, so northern Afghanistan. So we're having a sort of convergence of early Kushan period material in Xinjiang. And the period when the 3 overstruck types were taken out of circulation in Begram is about 90 AD. So we're somewhere between 85 and 95. There's a coinage reform which removes all the old coins from circulation. These are the old coins. They were removed from circulation and replaced with new coinage. So it looks like these coins moved into that area probably at a fairly precise period. And that period coincides with the report in the Chinese Chronicle of the Kushans sending an army into Xinjiang. And first of all, they sent it into as a sort of alliance with the Chinese. And then the Kushans got a bit arrogant, started asking for favors from the Chinese, which were rejected. So then the Kushans attacked the Chinese army there, and the Chinese general, well, it's his own report, so he would say he was so clever that he managed to humiliate the Kushans, send them packing, and from then on they were nice to the Chinese and sent tribute every year. So did these coins go with the army? That's one possibility, but it could be there are trade going on. And the only other reference in the Hohanshu to the Kushans being there is what sounds like a small contingent of troops going into Xinjiang to help a ruler who had been at the Kushan court be instated as king of Kashgar. And this is of the period of the third Kushan king, Bhima Kapsakis, and a couple of Vimicathlasis coins being found there. So again, we have a possible context, and then lastly, there's this much later source. It's a Tibetan text recording a history of the kingdom of Khotan, which says that the king of Khotan had sort of joined an army led by Kanishka into India and captured a place called Soked. Well, there are two candidates for that. One is what's now called Sialkot in the Punjab. The other is Ayodhya in the Ganges plain, which was then called Saketa. So we don't know which of them it was, but it shows again a diplomatic relationship between the Kushans and Khotan, and again we find Kanishka coins there, so it's possible that it's connected with that occasion. There were routes. I've done some very crude lines on this map. They're rather faint, but they show the different routes which have long been established between Gandhara and central Afghanistan and Khotan. Those are probably the routes by which the Kushan army would have gone into the area. The red oval is Kushan territory. You'll find if you look on Wikipedia, if you look in encyclopedias, you'll find Kushan territory extending into Xinjiang, but we can only be sure of territory being within that red oval. But we do know for sure, well, if one can believe written histories, that there were Kushan armies in the region of those periods. And there's another factor is that the official documents from Xinjiang are written in Kharosthi script in the Gandharan dialect. It's an adapted version of the Gandharan dialect, but it is Gandharan, but with a regional twist. And we have documents. There's one document on stone, and lots of documents written on pieces of wood. And one of them is an inscription of the king of Khotan, but most of them are from the state of Lulan Shanshan, a bit further to the east. There's also been documents from Kucha written in Kharosthi, and I've recently published some of these local coins, which say they come from Kucha. They say the issue of the king of Kucha in Gandhari on them. And so on these documents, so I picked one of the documents, but there's many other examples. The titles used by the kings in Xinjiang are the titles used by Kushan kings. So the king Pepia calls himself son of God, Devaputra, and the just, the victorious, the great, etc. And these are the titles used by Kushans, and we have stone inscriptions in Kharosthi, in Gandhari. We have ones in Brahmi, the language of North India, and we have them in Bactrian, which is the language used by the Kushans in Afghanistan. And so all these titles. Sorry, that seems to have slipped. Don't know what's going on. something's gone wrong with that bit of text there. But anyway, all these titles used by the Kushans are being replicated in Xinjiang. So again, we have commonality of coinage, commonality of script, and commonality of court practice in the region. And some of this evidence was not known before, but some of it was, and various people have come up with attempts to explain what's going on. So you can see this is a map I've pulled off the internet showing Kushan rule in Xinjiang, and vast areas of India that we have no evidence for being Kushan either. The person who has written most about the Kushans in this region said, the Kushans ruled there from this date to that date, and then he revised it slightly as we had a better understanding of Kushan chronology. So in his second paper, he moved the date slightly. And then more recently, two scholars have written about it, and both of them say, well, that there is this evidence, but does it actually show Kushan rule? So two opinions, and one thing that strikes me is that the evidence from the coins suggests a coincidence between what the Chinese texts say and what the coins tell us. That at the end of the first Kushan reign, there was an army in Xinjiang, and in the reign of Kanishka, there was a military connection between Xinjiang and the Kushans. So we have circumstantial evidence suggesting a strong Kushan influence in the area. But does it tell us whether the Kushans ruled there or not? So coins travel. The coins there might have nothing to do with a Kushan presence. They might just be traded there. They could have been taken there by the armies, and they could be taken there in their pockets as accidental. They could have actually taken them intentionally to give to the local people. Does it mean they ruled there? Well, I still don't think it's enough. And I agree with the two more recent writers saying, yes, there is evidence, but it's not strong enough to argue for Kushan rule. But it's probably some significance in the coincidences, but also the fact that there are more Kanishka coins there than there are coins of the last four rulers. So something, that must tell us something. But unfortunately, the Chinese sources tell us nothing about Kanishka. So that's the end of my talk.